You don't train your nervous system during an emergency. First responders don't train during emergencies either. They train for emergencies. Firefighters don't learn how to handle a blaze while a public building is on fire. If they practice in a blaze, it's a purposeful fire at the fire academy. Paramedics don't figure out protocols while someone's bleeding out. They train ahead of time so their bodies know what to do when thinking is limited. Your nervous system works the same way. If you wait until you're triggered to try to regulate yourself, you're going to be behind the curve.
Hi, I'm Barb Nangle. I want to welcome you to my podcast, Fragmented to Whole, Life Lessons from 12-Step Recovery. If you're tired of feeling fragmented and overwhelmed, this podcast is your guide to creating a life of wholeness, authenticity, and healthy boundaries. I'm a woman in recovery who is also a boundaries coach and speaker. I share raw and honest insights from my own journey and the principles of 12-step recovery. Discover how to set boundaries without guilt or shame, overcome people-pleasing tendencies, manage your emotions effectively, cultivate a stronger sense of self, and build healthier relationships. My approach is raw, honest, and sometimes a little bit, a lot sweary. I'm an avid beachcomber and a formerly closeted fan of the Hallmark Channel, especially Christmas movies. I wear fingerless gloves almost all year round because my hands are always cold, and I love taking pictures of license plates with my initials BN on them. I don't speak for or endorse any particular 12-step program of recovery. Though I'm a huge fan of 12-step recovery and a member of two such fellowships, I cannot speak for them. If you're ready for real talk and practical tools for transformation, keep listening.
This is episode 332, Why Knowing Better Isn't Enough and How to Train Your Nervous System Instead. There's something I want to talk about with you today that I found enormously helpful, especially at this time of year when many of us are spending more time with family. What I'm going to talk about is what is often referred to as somatic work. In other words, having to do with the body. One of the things I learned early in recovery is that when it comes to trauma, the issues are in our tissues. And that's why doing body work is enormously helpful because it helps us get that shit out of our tissues. Now, family time can be beautiful. It can also be deeply activating. And when people get activated, one of the most common things they say is things like, oh, I know better, or I know my boundaries. I understand why this is happening. And yet their body does something else entirely. So today I want to talk about why that happens and what actually helps. I also want to share a set of nervous system practices that I've been using and teaching informally because they work. And I want to do that in a way that stays in integrity. So these practices come from a handout by someone named Kyle Cox. I don't know him personally. I've had a hard time finding clear information about his credentials beyond how he identifies himself. So I'm not presenting this as medical advice, and I'm not asking you to take anyone's authority on blind faith. I'm sharing this because the practices themselves are body-based, practical, and effective. I have found them enormously helpful, and I also know others who have too. So take what you like and leave the rest. So here's the foundational idea that makes all of this make sense. Your nervous system reacts way faster than your thinking brain. By the time you think something like, I need to calm down, your body has already launched into a response. That's not a personal failure, that's biology. Your nervous system is designed to protect you. It doesn't wait for permission from your intellect. It moves first, asks questions later. This is why affirmations often feel hollow when you're activated, why reasoning with yourself doesn't work in the moment, why you can understand your patterns perfectly and still get hijacked. You're not weak, you're human. And by the way, we're all animals. And this is where I want to say something very explicitly because it's one of the most important points here. You don't train your nervous system during an emergency. First responders don't train during emergencies either. They train for emergencies. Firefighters don't learn how to handle a blaze while a public building is on fire. If they practice in a blaze, it's a purposeful fire at the fire academy. Paramedics don't figure out protocols while someone's bleeding out. They train ahead of time so their bodies know what to do when thinking is limited. Your nervous system works the same way. If you wait until you're triggered to try to regulate yourself, you're going to be behind the curve. Training happens before the moment. Practice happens when you're calm enough to choose it. It's not about perfection, it's about repetition. So let me walk you through 4 very common nervous system states people fall into, especially around family, and the kinds of practices that actually help interrupt them. You will probably recognize yourself in at least one of these. Before I share them, I want to say this. If you practice one of each of these different types of exercises I mention here each day and rotate through them, you'll be pre-training your nervous system for an emergency. What I've found is that I'm not triggered anywhere near as much, and also that my resting state is even more calm than it was previously. So the first common nervous system state is freeze. I remember when I got in recovery and I heard fight, flight, or freeze, I was like, wait, I'm in my 50s and I only ever heard of fight or flight. And then I heard fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. So anyway, the first one is freeze. Freeze looks like shutting down, dissociating, going numb, going quiet, feeling far away, or like you can't quite move or speak. When someone is frozen, talking doesn't help. Insight doesn't help. Processing doesn't help. Freeze is ancient. It's older than fight or flight. It's your system playing dead. So what helps freeze is not words, it's sensation and movement. So sensation like cold temperature. So try splashing really cold water on your wrists or face for about 10 seconds. Or do strong muscle contractions, like squeeze every single muscle in your entire body at the same time for about 10 seconds and then release. Or doing big, obvious movements like shaking your hands, stomping your feet, turning your head back and forth side to side. The body needs proof that it's here and now, not back then, whenever the original trigger happened. Pick one or more of these practices and do them for about 10 seconds at a time. The second state is rage. Now, this doesn't always look like explosive anger. Sometimes it's irritation, snapping, tightness in the jaw, or a low simmer that feels like it might boil over. Anger is energy. It's meant to move. So what helps rage is controlled physical effort. So pushing against a wall with all your might, twisting a towel like you're trying to break it in half, clenching your muscles and releasing. I've also heard like clenching your teeth and growling, maybe even biting on something like a pillow or a towel, or running in place as fast as you can for about 10 seconds. So this isn't about suppressing anger. It's about letting it complete its cycle safely. The third state is fawn. This one comes up a lot for people that I work with. Fawn looks like people-pleasing, over-explaining, minimizing yourself, saying yes when you mean no, or abandoning yourself to keep the peace. What helps here is physically taking up space. So you can stand with your feet and your arms extended like you're a starfish and hold it for about 10 seconds. Or extend your arms out and push against the air, like I am taking up this space and it's mine. Or saying the word no out loud, even if no one else is there, and say it 10 times and get louder and louder as you go. This teaches your nervous system that it's safe to exist, it's safe to have needs, and it's safe to take up space. If your body doesn't believe that taking up space is safe, your boundaries won't hold. The fourth state is flight. So that looks like the urge to escape, to leave the room, to distract, to scroll, to check out mentally or physically. What helps flight is grounding and rooting. So pressing your feet firmly into the floor and kind of feeling like I have roots growing through the floor. Engaging your legs and glutes as if you are not going to be pushed off of the spot on which you are standing, or holding a position for a short time and staying present with it, such as a plank position or a wall push-up. What this does is show your nervous system that staying is possible, that stillness doesn't equal danger. You might also try saying emphatically, I'm here, I'm safe, I stay. I have found saying that really powerful. Now, here's the most important part, and I really want you to hear this. These practices work best when they are practiced regularly, not just when you're triggered. You don't have to do them all, and you don't have to do them perfectly. You might choose one and practice it once a day for, 20 to 30 seconds. You're teaching your nervous system a new memory. So when you're with family, when something old gets activated, when your body starts to react before your mind catches up, it's easier to respond instead of react when you've been engaging in these practices. Sometimes the trigger doesn't even fully land. That's not because you controlled yourself better. It's because your nervous system learned something new. This is how internal safety is built. Not by forcing yourself to be calm, not by shaming yourself for reacting, but by showing your body again and again that now is different from then. You might even think of this as a way to stop abandoning yourself. Family gatherings have a way of waking up old patterns. These practices don't make you immune to that. They make you more resourced. They shorten recovery time. They increase choice. They help you come back to yourself faster. And that, to me, is what boundaries and healing are all about. Not never getting activated, but knowing how to come home to yourself when you do. If this resonated, you might choose one small practice to try this week, not in the heat of the moment, but beforehand. Train for the moment, not during it. If you've been waiting for me to run a boundary boot camp, this is the moment. People have been asking me to do this for years, and it's finally here. On January 1st, I'm hosting a 6-hour boundary bootcamp that's going to set you up with real clarity for 2026. You'll get coaching from me, worksheets you can use again and again, and a ton of content from my boundary library, including my writings and my most powerful podcast episodes. If you're ready to stop overgiving and start honoring yourself right from day one of the new year, come join me. This is your reset. And the best part is you won't be doing this alone. You'll be surrounded by others who are starting the year committed to making different choices so you get the support and energy to carry this work forward. Go to higherpowercc.com/bootcamp for details. Thanks for listening. If something here resonated, come connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm at Barb Nangle. I'd love to hear what you got from this episode. And if you'd like support building healthier boundaries in your personal, professional, or romantic life, you can book a free 30-minute Say No Without Guilt consultation at barbchat.net.